So, the Battle Pass Season 4 just started and you are able to get one of two new vehicles for Tier 9. One of which being the Tier 9 German reward tank KUNZE Panzer. One of the most unique medium tanks in the game because it has a special mode. It has a sniper mode and a siege mode rather, and a brawl mode where you have more DPM, less accuracy, more mobility. It's a very weird concept, but a concept which can work, however it does need quite some skill in my opinion. Now, I've played 10 games without any bounty equipment during preparation phase, and we had around 2900 damage. After that I changed to full bounty equipment because I was streaming and wanted to see what can I get out of the tank. And funnily enough, my win rate went up, however my DPG went down. But yeah, this happens. Now let's just jump into the gun of the KUNZE Panzer. This 105mm gun boasts 390 alpha on its APCR and heat rounds, as well as 480 alpha on its HE rounds. You have 268mm of base APCR penetration, which is more than enough for most situations, and you have 300mm for the extra tough nuts to crack on heat. The HE, however, is no HESH, so you only have 53 penetration. Now, if you start a game, you will just jump into it and see, yo, it has pretty good reload time. Base, you have 8.9 seconds reload time, which you can push down all the way to 7 seconds if you use bounty equipment, which is very strong and very nice. To that, you have 10 degrees of gun depression, and if you use the brawl mode, or the sniper mode rather, you have 15 degrees. But in the normal mode, in the brawl mode, you have 2.5 seconds aim time and 0.4 accuracy. It is very good and the DPM is very nice. You can work with it and it's very good in those brawl situations. However, if you now decide to go into the sniper mode, things change. You lose round of fire, your reload goes up around 3 seconds, you get worse gun dispersion on the move and during hull traverse, but you gain accuracy and aim time, and quite a bit. You really do feel the added accuracy. Plus, it is like in the Stridswagens, where if you press the button, the 2 seconds passed, you also have now the hydropneumatic suspension helping you out with gun elevation going all the way down to 15 degrees over the front. Keep in mind though, in World of Tanks, those gun depressions with the hydropneumatic suspension only works over the front and the back, not to the sides. You can't go left and right with the hydropneumatic suspension, you can only go forwards and backwards. So you have to be a little bit careful how you use it properly. As you might have seen, it happened in my first game video. Now the thing is, I saw some people writing down in the comment section below, but Raging, you kind of failed. It was my second game, you failed. Why didn't you change the mode to get better DPM? And that prompted me to do a little bit of an experiment. When we just use normal sniper mode, we have around 9.7 seconds reload time. That is rather long, and again the DPM isn't that great. If you only use the burst mode, well, you have 7 seconds, you know, the brawl mode. 7 seconds is super. It's very nice for 390 alpha. But the thing is, what happens if you are a sweaty tryhard and combine these twos? Obviously this only works if you are sitting in a bush, you know, and you don't really have to move. So you want to have accuracy but also DPM. So what you're doing is you shoot, you switch the mode immediately after to shoot, wait until the clock ticks down to around 2 seconds, or even a little bit more like 2.3, 2.5 seconds, switch back into sniper mode, and boom! What is the reload time? 7.12 seconds roughly, if you do it correctly. And that is only marginally longer than what you would have in the brawl mode. So this means that if you abuse the mechanic properly, you can get roughly the same DPM as in the brawl mode. This almost same DPM by still having much better accuracy and much better aim time. But again, this is a mechanic you kind of have to try and abuse and learn. But that is a very nice addition to the tank, making it very unique. And it's also something which I first had to learn and see for myself while I was doing that experiment. Let's move on to the survivability, and here, let's say a big fat no is everything you need to know. The tank has no armor. Seriously, you are free food for any artillery player. 10mm of engine deck armor, 25mm of roof armor, 40mm upper front plate armor, 30mm side armor. Seriously, you are RT free food and you can get penned very, very, very easily. And the same goes obviously for the light tanks of the EBR series with their Hesh. 1600 hit points isn't that good either. It means that you can die fairly quickly if you compare it to tanks like the T-54 or even the Leopard PTA. It is workable. It's still very, very low. And again, seriously, like, just look at the live visual model. Green everywhere, and even some turquoise, meaning that you have auto-pen or overmatch rather. There's only some minor positions where you can sometimes bounce a shot because of acute angles, but seriously, like, the Leopard PTA bounces more than this thing. It has literally no armor. And towards the survivability, all your crew members are in the turret. You are very compact, meaning you get a lot of module damage and you lose a lot of crew members. I had a game where I lost 4 crew members over the course of a 5-minute game. 2 to artillery, 2 to an M48 pattern, shooting around into here, killing my driver. Yeah, because your whole crew is in the turret basically. Moving on to the mobility, and here we don't really have to say anything. It's very nice, it's very decent. 65 kph top speed, 23 kph in reverse, and 20 HP per ton ratio. It feels a little bit more sluggish than the K91 PT due to the fact that the ground resistances are not that good. And again, if you decide to change in the 2 seconds into the sniper mode, you will also start to lose mobility. You only have then 30 kph top speed and 17 kph in reverse. So keep in mind that you are losing 5 kph in reverse. So yes, some people might say maybe just use a turbo, because the turbo does work in the siege mode as well, giving you like 35 kph top speed and around 20 kph or 21 kph in reverse, which is very nice, you know, it's very, very nice and you can work with it. And ultra bars, no biggie, it's all Gucci. Lastly, we have the concealment, and this is probably the biggest benefit of the tank. Because it is so small, it has, as far as I know, the best concealment of any tier 9 medium tank in the game. It is absurdly strong. I don't have a full camo crew yet, but with my setup I get around 36% camouflage rating. If I put the tank or the crew, which is the crew of the PTA, you know, back into the PTA, I get a measly 31%, over 5% more camo rating while standing still. The KUNZE Panzer's camo rating is absurdly. It's really godlike, and I feel like if people decide to not take vents, but rather take something like optics, you can use this as a pocket scout. You know, it doesn't have to be a scout, but damn, the camouflage is amazing, especially compared to the 400 meters of fuel range. So seriously, this tank is very, very skill based on what you want to do and how you want to do it in the game. You have the tools on open maps to dominate games because of your superb mobility, decent gun, especially with abusing the mechanic, as well as the amazing camo rating, as well as great base range, which can get pumped all the way upwards. So let's conclude the tank, and here I have to say, I still think this tank is nice. It is not particularly good. It really does need a high skill cap to play well in this tank. Like, seriously, I would say that I struggle with this tank. I actually perform in a K91 PT a little bit better, even though the K91 PT is, in my opinion, a worse tank. I do think that people which like the Leopard PTA should stay with the Leopard PTA, as the KUNZE Panzer doesn't give you too much of a benefit over the Leopard PTA, especially as the Leopard PTA is a little bit easier to use with the 420 Alpha compared to the 390. In my opinion, this tank is a solid 6 out of 5 points out of 10, you know, 6.5 points out of 10, totally a-okay. However, I already saw a lot of KUNZE Panzers today, and I have to say, guys, I know you can basically buy the tank for 45,000 gold immediately. That is around 150 euros of gold worth if you would just buy it right now. That is absurd. Please don't do it. You have 3 months time to grind as many levels as possible in the battle pass. So relax, boys and girls. You don't have to waste so much gold yet. I know you get other stuff like premium days, boosters, la-di-la-di-la-di-da, but please, this tank is not worth an immediate 45,000 gold, aka 150 euros or equivalent in gold. It's simply not that much worth it. I still believe that the Scharfhüter 4 is easier to play and more unique to play than the KUNZE Panzer. Again, the KUNZE Panzer has this mechanic it can abuse if you decide to stand still. Again, it's great for sniping if you then start to switch in between those modes. But, and this is the big but, it is hard to play, and I think it is a little bit harder to play than the Scharfhüter 4. And I still consider, if you don't have any tank of the Battle Pass, I still think the AE Phase 1 is a very solid first choice, while the Scharfhüter is a very solid second choice, and after that you might think about taking a KUNZE Panzer because it's the best of the bunch. Because K91, tough nut to say what it is about. And this Object 777 version 2, ew, go away, seriously. Anyway, that was my personal review of the KUNZE Panzer. I look forward to play it a little bit more to try and truly learn what I need to do with this unique and hard to play medium tank. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and bell icon if you want to be always up to date with everything World of Tanks related. And don't forget to let me know if you want to see some comment and gameplays of the KUNZE Panzer of myself, so you know what I did, how I did it, and how I tried to abuse this mechanic. Cheers and good luck on the battlefield.